Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and this week we are tackling the wheels on the highest mileage 350Z in the UK. As you've seen in the intro shots, these wheels are looking curved, corroded, and just generally horrendous. So these guys have kindly offered to sort these out for us. In the last video, we transformed the interior from a horrible tan colour to the black which is in the car now. I've got no doubts we're going to make just as big a transformation on these wheels. So we're not going to make any progress out here, so it's time to pull the car inside and get it in the air. So the first job is removing everything that's not metal from the wheels. So that means the tyre's got to come off, the valve's got to come off, and the centre cap's got to come out before it can go in the tank to be stripped. Now don't worry, I know I'm not doing the work here. The wheel specialists are perfectionists and would not let me touch these wheels in fear of ruining them, but I will be doing some work on the car later, so stay tuned. So once the wheels have been checked over and we knew they were good, safe, straight wheels, we pop them in the tank to be stripped. I'm not 100% sure what chemicals in here, I just know that you wouldn't want to fall in this tank because it wouldn't be pretty. So the wheels were left in here overnight and then they were pulled out the next morning, rinsed off and then sent over to the sanding and shot blasting section. If you guys are new to the channel or you're not subscribed, make sure you smash that button to keep up with the build on this 350Z. Trust me, it's going to be worth sticking around for. So in this part of the process, what we're aiming to do is remove any corrosion, any damage, so curb marks or anything like that from the wheel. So to do that, the wheel's sanded and shot blasted to make sure that it's going to be absolutely pristine once the new powder coat's on. So once the wheels are fully prepped, they mask off the back mating face of the alloy with like an aluminium foil, and then they're hung up on a rail, ready to go in the oven before the powder coat goes on. So the wheels were then put in the oven at 200 degrees for about 30 minutes until they were golden brown and crispy, and then they were ready for the powder coating process to begin. So this is where the magic happens, and I do not understand it for the life of me, but they spray this powder onto the hot wheel, which then turns into like a liquid surface and is then baked and then makes that perfect gloss black, super hard powder coat finish. So obviously the wheels went back into the oven to be baked for a final time, and they were looking the absolute dog's danglies. I could not get over how good they looked, but the only thing that wasn't going to be black was the centre cap, so I may have gave them a quick crisp ghetto spray with some gloss black just before the tyres were refitted and rebalanced. Okay, so obviously we chose to go for gloss black, and at the moment it might not look the most inspiring. Obviously we're missing the centre caps, just waiting for those to dry, and also the brakes are looking very, very rough. You can see, you know, they're all chipped up and the discs are all rusty. So these are sort of letting down the side on the wheel front, so that's definitely something we need to deal with very, very shortly. But on the whole, I could not be happy with the black wheels. I'm sure some of you are going to dislike it, but let me know in the comment section what you would have picked and what you would have gone for on this car. But for the plans that I've got for it, I definitely think this is the right choice. But yeah, all in, could not be happier with the colour and the finish on these wheels on the 350Z. shout out to the guys at the Wheel Specialist for absolutely sorting me out and doing a mint job. Next up, let's go and tackle these manky looking brake calipers. Right, so it's back to me working on the 350, and it feels good to do some of the work myself, but it's also quite nice to have a break too. But massive shout out to the Wheel Specialist. They absolutely sorted me out on those wheels and they look mint. Now, if you are interested in having your wheels transformed by the guys at the Wheel Specialist, I'll leave a link in the description. Now it's onto these brakes, which, as I said in the last clip, were looking crap. So first thing is pull the caliper off the car so we can remove the disc and the pads, and then we refit it to the car so it's mounted in a nice place so we can spray it up. So once they were wire brushed, sanded and degreased, it was then time to start the masking in preparation for that first coat of primer. Now I just want to put a little disclaimer here saying that I'm no painter and I'm no mechanic. Like, this is just how I've chosen to do it. It's definitely not a how-to, and no part of what I'm doing with these videos is going to be a how-to, because to be honest with you, with a set of spanners I'm useless, and with a spray can or a spray gun I'm not much better either, to be honest with you. So it's not a how-to, it's just how I've done it. Right, so now the calipers are prepped for paint, everything's done, apart from I need to put a sheet underneath the one that I'm working on while I'm painting it, but it's time to pick the colour. And for me, there's only one colour which I can choose. I've got loads of colours kind of sat in the cupboard that we've done on previous cars, like Astoral Blue off the BMWs. We've got the correct Brembo Red as well, which I'd use on the Range Rovers, but for me this car's got to be so in your face it hurts, so we're going for Porsche Acid Green, which is it's like a highlighter yellow colour, and it's really going to pop from behind those black wheels. So let's get this mixed up and get it laid on. Now I'm going to be straight and honest, and I'm about to be outed in a second, but this did not go perfectly. I think it may have partially been down to me doing this work with a hangover at this point. So top tip, don't paint when you've got a hangover. It doesn't go well, and you're definitely not the most patient when you're like that.
Hey, what's poppin'? It's me, Matt Armstrong, and I'm in Slick's car care unit, and we're painting the calipers with some hammerite. So what Chris is doing right now is sanding down his mistakes.
You know what I mean?
He's done a quality
professional
job.
Here.
Absolute quality job. Let's just do a little walk around of the interior. Oh, I've not seen it with black seats yet.
Better, isn't it? Stinks still.
It's got some funny smell to that.
Horrible.
It's got a weird smell in here. Yeah, you would never know that this is. You done the gear knob and all?
Yeah, proper shit job on that. I need a new one.
And you done the bottom of the steering wheel. That's, yeah, nice. I'll go for an 8 out of 10.
You seen the wheels?
Where are they?
They're outside.
Alright, let's go check the wheels out. Here we go. Oh wow, they look amazing in white. So good. Oh no, they're black. Nice.
Matt fully outed me there. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't going to say anything about the runs that I managed to put into the colour coats, but I did. But anyway, sanded them back, put another few layers on, and then they were ready for clear coats. Just used this out of an aerosol, but once that was dry again, we then lay on this little Brembo logo, exactly the same size as the original one that was on the caliper. Now, if you're wishing me a speedy recovery from my hangover, please do smash a like on this video, because that will make me feel better a lot quicker. I can already hear the hate in the comments for how I've painted these discs, but as soon as I drove it down the road, the pads take off, you know, any excess paint on the surface of the disc that's not needed. You know, it went fine, I didn't crash, I didn't die, so it's all good. Yes, there we have it. So the wheels are back on the 350Z now. So we've got the wheels refurbed, the brake calipers looking a lot better. I have made a bit of a mess of the rear passenger side one, having to touch it in a bit, but it still looks okay, so we can let that pass. And also painted the centres on the brakes as well in VHT silver, so they're not looking rusty anymore. And the exterior is looking a lot better in the wheel front, at least anyway, so I'm much happier there. The interior is still stinking, the bodywork's still shagged, but we're making good progress. Let's get the car outside so you can see how it's looking now. So that is the end of this week's video, and the brakes and the wheels and the calipers and everything like that are looking 10 times better on the 350Z from the start of the video. But obviously there's still loads more work to do. That interior is still absolutely stinking. The bodywork is still absolutely shagged, and to be honest with you, it looks a little bit boring for my taste. So there's going to be plenty more work on this car in future videos. But I'll hand you over to Matt now for his outro.
Thank you. Like and subscribe. See you later.